How you doing, everybody, and welcome to Dicey Decisions, where we roll dice, spin stories, and have people call me to let me know that they are like 5 minutes away as soon as we go live, which is great. It's awesome.
We're here, though.
We're here.
We're all here.
I'm here.
All of us, but you know.
There is no war in Bossing Say.
My microphone.
If any of you watching at home can hear, we are sounding a little bit better this time. A couple of extras. Is that my cat sneezing? Anyway.
Sniffling.
I don't know. Yeah, we sound a little cleaner this time, so yeah, that's pretty cool. We are here for episode Cuatro of our lovely campaign, and all 4 episodes have taken place within an entire day. Hopefully that will not be the pacing of the entire adventure, but who knows? Who knows? We'll figure it out.
Well, we're gonna go by the hour, fellas.
Oh yeah, this is real time.
Oh my god.
This is real
slower
time.
than real time.
Slower than real
Every
time.
hour equals 30 minutes.
It'll be fine though. It'll be fine. You know, this is all exposition. Us trying to get this stream really getting together, all that good stuff.
Feel of it.
A few short announcements. We are still waiting for one of our players to get here. A few short announcements before we jump into tonight's story. There will be no episode on the 19th. There will be no episode on the 19th. I will be out of town, and therefore I will not be able to access my computer and streaming services. So, you will have plenty of time to catch up on the show. If you're just joining us, you'll have plenty of time to catch up, which is great and awesome.
Why didn't you tell me this, Mike? Jeez.
I'm pretty sure I did.
I know, I'm teasing you.
Oh, okay. I was actually a little worried for a second that I didn't tell you. And I was like, oh no. Oh no.
The surprise announcement is everyone's surprise.
That's the true kind of surprise. Yeah, that's it for me. As far as
Unfortunately, Pride Month is over, but we have now moved on to Gay Sloth.
we have moved on to Sloth Month.
July is Gay Sloth Month. Coming up next month is Gay Wrath.
And then after that, Lust.
Gay Lust.
Oh god.
Just kidding. That's all year round.
September. September is Gay Gluttony.
Oh yeah, it is. Wouldn't October and November kind of be gluttony though? Because you know Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, Thanksgiving is gluttony for everybody, not just gay gluttony.
Aw.
No, we're not that inclusive.
Gotta
It
have our
has to
own
be
gluttony.
for the gays.
That's fair.
October,
Yeah?
I don't know. October is Gay Christmas, so.
October's Gay Christmas.
You know, you're right, actually.
And then when in November we can pick it up with Envy, maybe.
Envy? November? Yeah, sounds about right.
Envy. Oh no, but we're changing it from Envy to NB.
NB. Ah.
Yeah.
So.
It's very fitting for November.
Those fools that conform to the binary are not allowed to participate. They must worship their NB overlords.
Sorry, guys.
We'll be at the glass, like. It's okay. I'll just be at the glass, like holding up a sign, doing like, "You're doing great, sweetie."
Like behind the newscasters at like a morning show.
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Check out my SoundCloud, bro.
Oh my god.
Ugh. I'm drinking vodka tonight.
You're drinking vodka right now?
Maybe. It's the only way I can deal with all of
No,
y'all's shenanigans during fucking Dungeons and Dragons.
I think we're delightful, first of all.
I didn't say you weren't.
Maybe stupid.
Maybe what?
Yeah, okay, that's
We're just more delightful when he's drunk.
That's true.
Tip, could you say a little something about the game that we're playing, maybe, mechanically speaking?
We are playing Dungeons and Dragons on roll 20, not D20. D20.
D20.net.
D20.net. I legit typed that in once. Anyway, that's not the point. We are on roll 20, which I don't know how to promo this. Like, why?
Today's 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons stream is powered by Roll20, because reasons, and it's free. But if you guys if you guys support our Patreon, it could be not free, and I could pay for the extended edition and have access to a lot of tools that I currently have to kind of jerry-rig myself. But that's fine. It's fine. He's fine. I'm fine. This is fine. Hi, wife. So, I've actually kind of been waiting for everyone to be here so I could announce that we have a super awesome big thing that I've been working on for the past 4 months.
Mike, sing!
I was able to purchase the rights to a song that very much inspired a lot of the story for this campaign. And long story short, we now have an intro animation that isn't just a logo. It is like we have a title sequence. So
we have a title sequence.
So if everyone would like to, all of the players at least, would like to open up our Twitter so you could watch it live with the audience, you're more than welcome to. Twitch, not Twitter. I can't speak English.
Tweeter.
Can I do both?
You can open up Twitter. I don't know what you would get from that, but sure, go ahead. But yeah, without further ado,
I'm not open yet. It's okay. I've already seen it. It's okay.
Okay, apparently with more ado, much ado about nothing.
I don't remember my login details, and it's not logged in on my computer, but I've already seen it, so go ahead and run it.
Okay.
I have perks of being married to the DM.
Christ help us all.
Yeah, there's lots of those, right?
I'm not a metagamer.
No, if anything, she gets to suffer the most because she has the most developed character backstory. So, but yeah, with this time, I promise, no further ado, things are about to get dicey.
Woo!
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yay!
How
Wasn't it
theatric and
amazing, guys?
I think I looked great.
you made me crotchless.
I didn't want to draw your underwear.
That's fair.
I had all of the reference stuff. I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
And I'm just gonna make some shadow there. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's probably for the best. I wish I was wearing pants.
It's
Oh, well.
okay. It's okay. Your thighs were doing the thing, so it all works out.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Helga.
That's a win. That's a win for thighs. Okay. Back to our story. Last we left our story, 3 travelers, Helga, Soot, and Kat, and 2 musicians, Oran and Gurg, had all come to the city of Dagdaral, run by the oligarchic paladins of Justine, for what seems to be very similar reasons. After spending a morning separated and enjoying the festival, you all came back together and explored the Durselbard, the business district of the city. You met a colorful group of individuals, bought a book, sold some stuff, and generally killed time until sunset, where you planned to go see the big religious service hosted at the great Keep Certus. You find yourselves, now, surrounded by an ever-increasing crowd that swells as they pass through the streets of Dagdaral, the softly glowing eye of Justine hovering in the sky above you in the slowly darkening light of the evening. You stand on a street corner outside the Parchment Stuffin', the bookshop you just exited, the crowd passing you by as you decide what to do next, the air getting moderately colder as the sun goes down. So, with significantly less preamble than the last few episodes, my friends, what are you doing?
Let's see. I forgot what we left the parchment store.
Set is still sticking. Actually, Set is like looking around at the festivities. He's trying to like take in as much of this ceremony as possible, even though he's kind of thinking of his like
Well,
Yeah.
you're not in the ceremony yet. You're on the street and people are like moving past you, like heading like towards the center of the city.
No, that's what I mean. Like he's taking in the people getting ready, like taking in the town still, everyone getting ready to go into the center of whatever this is.
Okay.
Basically making star eyes and everything.
Of course, as always.
Cheap, 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 cheap.
He's probably following the crowd, honestly.
All right, so all of you are just gonna hop into the crowd and follow the masses, as it were.
Well, Soot's definitely doing that.
Helga wants to keep her eye on little Soot.
And Soot
Sure.
wants to see what the hubbubbies.
I'm like, hey, don't.
Are they heading toward the big thing that we were told to meet the person at and possibly meet the other person?
You can surmise with your vast intelligence that the massive amount of people heading towards the center of the city are probably going to some sort of event, and the only one that you've known that you have been told about that is happening around sunset is the big religious service happening.
Well, I
at
guess
Keep.
we're gonna go do that.
All right, so
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was anything else you guys wanted to do. So you hop into the crowd and try to keep an eye on each other, which isn't too hard. It's not like, pushing and shoving kind of crowd. It's just everyone, just a lot of people moving in the same direction. So you're able to keep together just fine. As you walk through the streets, you see people have little religious trinkets and stuff in their hands. Some people are wearing certain, some nicer garments. Not like, like wearing, not equivalent to like wearing like a nice Sunday or Easter Sunday dress or something like that. But like it's a lot less formal. It's more of a like, hey, we're going to a nicer event and I want to look nice, kind of thing.
I'm gonna reach over to Soot and kind of like pat all of the dust away from his face and just like, let me clean you up a little bit.
Yes, so you look down at your so you look down at yourself and you're like, I see nothing wrong. I'm covered in soot. This is my fucking name.
They're trying to like smack away Cat's like hands. Like, no, leave me be.
You do see that Cat is she has a very you noticed when you first saw her that she was wearing a very, very nice dress, and it is now caked with mud from your guys' scuffle earlier in the day.
Soot will do her a solid. Actually, no. Soot's gonna do something that I think is more in character. He's gonna open his prayer wheel and take some of the ash from inside and rub it on his cheeks. And then he wants to do the same for Cat and Helga.
Aww.
Soot reaches over and do you let him touch you?
I'll let him do it.
Yeah.
You both have been smeared with soot.
But
You're all effectively dirtied.
Good.
Thanks,
I'm
Dan.
actually-
I'm pretty sure Helga's just walking around in her freaking like leather armor anyways.
Helga's not wearing armor.
Helga's not wearing armor, that's right. In her whatever she usually wears.
Clothes.
In her just usual clothes.
Blessed by the Everlight.
Wow, thanks.
Thank you, little soot.
All right, so as you all pass through the streets, you pass back through the big market district, and you pass. You can see ahead of you some more big stone wall, very similar to the wall that surrounds the entirety of the city. And you see that most of the buildings here are made of wood and plaster and simple architectural design a la medieval architecture. But this concrete like marble that the streets are just paved with, entirely flat, except for the parts where mud has caked from people and carts tracking it through the city over however many decades. You see this huge 50-foot high wall stretching around, the various districts of the city, and you're heading towards one of those, behind which the towers of what you can imagine to be the central protective keep of the city lies. Keep Certus, as you pick up from random passerby. And as you approach, you see this large wooden gate with a metal portcullis that is kind of half open, has a wooden stage about 10 feet off the ground set up in front of it, so that people from the keep can walk up onto it, but everyone kind of around it can't really get in. It's more of like a hey, look, this is where the crowd appears to be crowding around, and you can just sort of see the glint of the helmets of some paladins, kind of like keeping a nice buffer distance between the crowd that's crowding around the stage of sorts and the stage itself, like a 10-foot distance. Like if any of you have been to a concert, it's basically that. But it's far less, there's far less excited energy like you're going to a concert, and more like this I don't know how to say it. It's
Evangelical church service.
it's very much like an evangelical apprehension than an excited we're about to hear some fucking dubstep.
Yeah.
Wub, motherfuckers. So, as the crowd thickens in this huge space, this courtyard outside of the walls of the keep, excuse me, you see a number of individuals start to step onto the stage, where there's a wooden pulpit that's there. what looks like some high-ranking paladins with very ornate, definitely their dress armor, some badges along their shoulder pauldrons. You notice 3 specifically well-adorned paladins with their helmets under their arms, standing at attention next to this very elderly man with wispy gray beard and a silly tall hat. Not like the Pope's hat. It kind of goes outward, kind of like Lady Tottington from Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
Lady Tottington.
It just kind of goes out to these points, so he has this weirdly sideways diamond-shaped head. And and you know, it has it's all the red and white and little bits of gold, the what appears to be the color scheme of the paladins. This man walks up to the pulpit, and to his left stand these 3 high-ranking paladins with their helmets under their arms, and flanking behind them is a line of what looks like a number of captains of the city. And as the old man starts to speak in this frail kind of voice that doesn't really carry that far, and you're sort of kind of having to, if you wanted to listen, you'd have to strain a bit to hear what he's saying. But he starts evangelizing and speaking and gesturing to the crowd, and some people go woo and clap a bit after a few things he says.
In tongues.
They're not speaking in tongues. They're speaking in the trade. Well, yeah, the trade tongue, the one that you can speak. They're speaking common. Next to him are the 3 paladins next to him. You see this very intimidating large man with these wide shoulders that make him look like a human wall, and this super short hair braided so tightly against his head it looks like it's permanently cemented in place. Next to him is a younger woman, clearly the youngest of what you now count as 10 people flanking the whatchamacallit, the old dude.
I'm sorry, I just stretched my feet out and Petey was laying next to my feet and he sniffed my foot and then got up and walked away.
Oh geez.
So I just wanted everybody to know that I have stinky ass feet, that even my cat, who we literally call Stinky Pete and Garbage Boy, yeah.
Wow.
Spectacular.
I know that was extremely pertinent. Please continue.
Decided that you are not worthy.
Thank you. Yes, this young woman next to the large wall-like man, she's clearly the youngest, maybe mid to late 20s. One side of her head is completely shaved and the other side is straightened and kind of over to one side. It's a little styled, a lot less militaristic, but functional. In her eyes, she has these super intense eyes that you can see from here, and you're about like 70 feet away from the stage, and you can, because you got there a little early with the crowd, but like even from that distance away, you can see she has these very intense eyes, but they sort of twinkle as she kind of leans over and mutters something under her breath to the big man next to her, and you can almost swear you can see him stifle a snicker. Which is very nice.
Snickers.
Can we eavesdrop? I want to eavesdrop.
I want a Snickers.
We are several feet away.
You are 70 fucking feet away. You cannot hear what she said.
And
You
can like see them.
But you can see them. Yeah, you can see them. She kind of leans over and.
Right? They're on like a dais, right?
Yeah, they're on a tall stage, so like everyone can see them, but not necessarily hear them, and you can just barely hear this old man who has started going into Justine's noble judgment shines down upon us as it does every day, never ceasing for her quest for, just shit like that.
He didn't say anything about Faina, right?
He does not mention anything about Faina. Actually,
Okay, bullshit. This concert sucks.
I'm sorry, I couldn't catch that. What?
This concert sucks, so it wants to leave.
Do you? Do you leave?
No, he kind of just tunes it out. He's like bored with this now.
Okay, you just tune it all
Whatever
out.
like excitement he had, he thought this was garbage now.
You're cutting out a lot. I'm sorry.
Really? I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. I'll try to speak slower, maybe.
I feel like Sit would be like rolling his eyes. Just like
Sit's growling.
Yeah, Cat's not really paying attention either. Kind of just like nodding at the places where you're supposed to nod, raising the hands, doing the I'm at church and I'm pretending like I'm paying attention to church, but really I'm just working on my grocery list in my head, sort of thing.
Helga's just
and she's looking for the kid whose name that Carly forgets, but Cat wouldn't have forgotten. Might have started with a D.
Are you looking for Captain Theodric?
Well, I have never met Captain Theodric, right?
Well, who are you looking for?
The kid who said that we could meet his uncle.
Oh yeah, the kid mentioned who did he mention?
Captain Theodric is his uncle, right?
No, Captain Theodric is the guy who you guys met as you entered the city, who was like, "Hey, maybe maybe don't fuck your own shit up, guys."
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna look for him too, but also looking for the kid.
Okay. Yeah. So you go ahead and sure. Go ahead and roll a perception check. In such case.
Wait, while Cat's doing that, so it wants to look for a hearth.
A hearth.
Can you make a perception? Like.
Whoa.
I can.
Ooh.
Did I roll well?
Roller.
24 perception check.
All right. So you remember the kid mentioning his uncle's name was Boldar. Uncle Boldar. Because sure. Then that's what I'll just retcon. If I didn't have him say that, he said that because you got a really good perception. And you're this is as the young lady kind of like leans up and kind of whispers something, and then the big stoic guy just kind of with that high perception, you see, he tries not to laugh, but otherwise he's very stoic. And an older lady, an elderly lady, a few people back and to the right of you, you just barely overhear her whisper to a friend, "Oh, that Boldar is so stoic. Does he ever smile?"
Okay, noted.
No.
Bulrar, you said?
Boldar, Buldar.
The Boulder.
The Boulder! Yeah, his name is Boulder.
The Boulder has conflicted feelings.
Yes, his name is Boulder.
The boulder does not smile.
Okay, duly noted. I know who we need to seek out. Captain Theodric, do we see him?
You do see what looks like there seems to be some sort of ranking. This high, religious preacher gentleman speaking at the pulpit seems to be just, an evangelist. But as far as like paladins with military rank, there appears to be this wall-like man, the woman, maybe some sort of deputy next to him. Next to her is someone who's kind of like maybe like a step back from them, definitely lower in rank from the adornment of her armor. but she still has it down. And then behind those three is a wall of about 10 people who also have their helmets under their arms. And you do, with that high of a perception check, you do recognize the short cropped hair and lighter skin of Theodric.
Cool beans. So theoretically, the boulder is a higher rank than Captain Theodric.
Yes, Theodric is a captain. There are Oran did mention that Oran did mention someone known as the High Overseer. And there are other... Go ahead and roll a history check, actually. I'm not going to just give this away.
Oh. Ooh. Well, my last roll was really great, so this one's going to be absolute balls.
I'm excited.
Well, maybe not, because I do have a +6 to history.
You can do it.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, 20.
Modified 20, sweet. Okay, so you would know that as far as the Paladins of Justine as an order, their ranking does go Captain, Shieldmaster, Overseer, and then High Overseer. And the High Overseer is the highest military rank of the Paladins. So what you're looking at is some evangelist behind which is standing the, highest ranking members of the Paladins of Justine.
Cool beans.
Exciting, isn't it?
Super exciting.
Yep.
All right. I have had my questions answered. I am ready to just sit and wait.
All right, so the speech goes on and on. A just life lived is a just life earned. We were all once barbaric people until the truth was revealed. Justice for the worthy, blah, blah, blah. Are you heckling? Is that what you're doing?
I take offense to term barbaric. That is just what I do. That is just my class.
It's just my job. It's not who I am. Gosh.
Just my class.
It's not all I am. Yeah, he points up at the glowing white orb in the sky that has begun, actually, as the sun is setting, it has begun to burn brighter to kind of almost make up for the light lost in the twilight. And he points up and he's, we're all guided by her sword and protected by her shield. And he makes this grand sweeping gesture to the huge walls behind him. And she saw that our plight was unjust, and so she guided the hand of her paladins to smite the enemy. A bunch of people cheer, woo! Wave a couple of, golden streamers.
Wait, Soot hates this. He's like, he lets out a loud, clanging sound.
No. I love him. Helga's just bored and slightly offended.
Couple people look to see what fell, but don't see anything, so they just go back to paying attention.
Good job, Soot.
This is bullshit.
Helga pats Soot on the back, nice one.
Oh, it gets worse from there. We were saved in her name, but not without loss, for with victory comes trade in equal measure. Let us all take a moment to honor those who fell in protecting our fair city of stone. And the whole crowd, bows their head a little bit. And, silence.
So explosion sound.
Jesus Christ, really?
Wait, what?
So, yeah. I'm not taking it back. He casts thaumaturgy and makes an exploding sound.
Originating from him, or?
From himself, yeah.
Okay, sure. Everyone nearby whips around and stares, thinking a kid set off a firecracker, but there's no smoke or anything like that. Go ahead and I'm
gonna purposefully angle myself away from and because I am kind of trying to a little bit get some favor, so I'm kind of just pretending like I don't know this bird.
He doesn't know your operation. This is purely his frustrations with this whole bullshit ceremony. What do I need to roll, Mike?
You don't need to. Well, are you trying to do anything? Because
Soot wants to start reciting passages from what he remembers of his own religion.
go ahead and roll a performance check.
Oh boy.
Let's see how well this goes.
Yeah.
16.
16. Okay. As you start speaking, the old man raises his head again, and you see on the pulpit he opens this very large old dusty tome. From the Codex of the Nine, and like you're like trying to speak over him.
We came to Ash. We will return to be born
The
again.
honor and justice.
We to rise of Fena,
Garsti Bortin, Gresti Gordi Barstor,
end to end, and
Garsti
bring us to life.
Pantantiski Dorstiden. He starts speaking in none of you speak Northland Pacalian. So he starts speaking in basically the local dialect of Pacalian, which is historically a human spoken language.
What the fuck ever?
Oh my god. Helga's just like looking back and forth between Soot and the guy like
So I'll have you go ahead and roll another just a general charisma check, if you would. And I'm gonna contest it with the old guys really quick.
So Kat is looking from one religious zealot to another religious zealot, and then kind of just walks off and finds a quieter place. Just like, you're doing great, good. I'm gonna be over here, and then just like walks away.
Shit. So it rolled a 7.
All right. So as you like try to like shout over this man speaking another language, this kind of gruff looking maybe 50-something-year-old dude in a kind of dingy, maybe once was really nice but definitely not anymore kind of coat, kind of like turns to Helga and it's just like, hey, can you like shut your kid up or something?
That was the worst one to drink.
oh my god. So now might not be a good time for this.
You're still in the
Fena's light cannot be.
They seem very touchy about their organized religion.
From Ash we came, to Ash we will return and be born again in fire.
So I think we should go. I think we should go somewhere quieter because this is upsetting you. Helga tries to take Soot by the hand and lead him away from the crowd so he can like chill out somewhere else and not have to listen to the other.
Soot's resisting. He's not gonna.
Okay, both of you roll a strength check, contested.
Yeah, this is gonna be funny.
Oh yeah, this will go great.
Oh my shit! Mike, I rolled a nat 20.
Kit, you better Here's the thing about natural 20s though. They only apply technically. I will technically natural 20s.
When you're contesting someone, how does that work out?
Natural 20s do not technically count as like a critical success when you're contesting. It is just the total.
I get that.
Or if the whole like grabbing Sit by the hand and pulling him away thing didn't work, then I was just gonna pick him up and carry him off.
Yeah, so
I want to like say that this 20 works out more of like how many people he's. No, okay, this is.
can I narrate?
I'm sorry,
I got you.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you your due diligence because you rolled a natural 20, and I always want to reward someone for getting a natural 20. I'm actually going to reward you an inspiration point, for fucking really holding to your character at this current moment.
Hey, can I interrupt for a second?
Yes.
So I accidentally rolled a strength save the first time, which had a +7, so that gave me a 24. But this time I rolled a strength, like straight up and down strength check, and I got a natural 20. That's 4. So
it's a 24, so it's the same roll.
24. Oh, I just did it again. That was an accident. So, Tiffany, eat my dust.
So Soot puts up a phenomenal display of strength that is surprising to you, Helga, being who you are, being as strong as you are, feeling and this, you're like, wow, this tiny little burb could take on this burb could wrestle a bear if he wanted to. And turns out he does.
Sure.
As you lift him off the ground and over your shoulder as you slowly walk away from the stage.
I'm just imagining his like feathers getting all ruffled and like feathers flying.
Oh yeah, there are feathers like flying everywhere. He is squawking loudly. There are a lot of people watching.
He is making a big old conundrum.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you have definitely made your presence very well known in this area.
Like,
so
excuse me. I am trying to remove small friend.
So you eventually, and I wasn't able to hear that, Tip.
Like whatever Soot's saying about like his protests and his like religious assertions, Helga's just like, yes, I know, friend, I know.
Faina!
I know, Faina. Yes, Faina is yours.
So yes, you carry Soot off to a much quieter part of the city, away from the crowd. You go around an alleyway and kind of like sit him down. Oran and Gurg have followed you. They're both kind of just watching, like a little worried about this tiny little zealot that's been screeching a bit. And we'll get to you, Katrina, in a moment. But yeah, you set Soot down. You set Soot down.
Sit down.
Set Soot sit.
Sit.
Soot sat. Sit, Soot.
So you are finally released, Soot, in this quieter alleyway.
I know you are frustrated, da. Oh, that's so cute. Sorry.
Do you say this out loud?
No, that was me. That was Kit speaking. I just
so pissed off as hell. More uncomfortable than anything.
But they have their religion. They're organized. They organize this big party, and they don't want. This is not the place for you to go in and say yours is right, even though, I don't know, maybe yours is right. They think theirs is right, and but they're not going to listen.
Not listening. Bad.
Yeah, exactly. They're not listening. They're not ready to listen.
Dana's like, he's all.
Exactly.
And he starts like, he takes out his prayer wheel and he's just like turning it.
Yes, exactly. And your faith in Faina is strong, but their faith in their Justine is also strong, and so they are not ready.
Shit's reading.
Yes, shit's reading, but they're not ready to hear you, especially not in the middle of their festival.
Oh.
Do you want to stay out here until it's over and we can go meet back up with Kat after?
So it's nodding.
Okay, we can stay right here, and you can tell me about Faina.
Oh. I don't really want to act this out. So it just goes on a big spiel about Faina.
I was gonna cut away as you start explaining that stuff. So yes, you can message Kit in the chat and I don't know, maybe like explain like maybe one of the basic tenets of the Fainan religion. While we go to Katrina, you start to move away and you hear this kerfuffle, a loud clanging, an explosion, and the oration of Soot in a combination of an older woman and an older man's voice. It was very disconcerting, and then angry squawking that slowly fades into the distance, and you are now, as you have kind of moved through the crowd, go ahead and roll a dexterity check with disadvantage, because, nope, not with disadvantage, just a regular dexterity check, because you're not wearing your armor.
I'm not. I'm wearing a fucking dress.
A fucking dress.
Yuckin' dress.
And carrying a sword around, because you summoned it to your hand.
I unsummon it.
You can't do that.
Oh,
It's not
I'm
a it's
rolling
not a
my
hexblade.
gotcha. I'm rolling my dex check, and then I have to get our food.
Okay. Oh, you ordered food for us.
I did. Surprise!
Yay! I love her.
Hello.
That's my wife, guys.
What food, I wonder?
What's the-
I wonder. I hope I'm being surprised with something salty. I love salty foods.
You know what sounds really good right now? Is mac and cheese.
Ooh, with like bacon bits.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
It's gonna be like a euro or something.
Ooh. That's good too, though.
Yeah.
So does it have like? Well,
I'm sorry?
I was gonna ask you, since we're not really doing anything right this second. Does it have any like phrases that you like? Does it have like a string of phrases that just like goes on in a cohesive like homily kind of thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much he's going. So, to put it into context, this would be like a passage in the Bible
Okay. So he's like heard that he's
that he's heard like verbally, and he's just pretty much reciting word for word.
Gotcha. Good for him.
Yeah. Soot begins, if I may.
Yes.
Soot begins to explain this a passage of a story about the burning away of evil and the light of redemption. And it's the light, yes, the Faina's light of redemption. But the passage that that he states refers to her as the Everflame. And it's very flowery and wordy, but I would say, mechanically speaking, you come to understand that Faina is a deity whose domain appears to be mainly light.
Uh-huh. And Soot is pretty evangelical about it.
Very, very much so.
Very, very.
Ooh, I was wrong.
Well,
It's sushi.
Dana is very, very important to Sid.
You know, being a cleric.
Yeah.
Right, I am back.
alright.
I have
Excellent.
food.
I'm gonna be eating noisily this whole time. It'll be spectacular.
Did you see the messages from Tiff too, Mike? That Soot goes on about 40 minutes?
No,
Oh, okay.
this is to you alone.
Okay, but I was gonna
It-
ask, since there's like a brief food break thing happening, I was gonna ask,
Okay.
does the guy's sermon thing go on longer than that?
Not so much longer.
Like
You don't know. I'll put it that way. You don't know. You're busy listening to Soot.
Oh, okay.
So you guys are,
For a Q&A and stuff afterwards.
yeah, you guys are occupied for the next 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
Delightful. Wait, is Gurg also, like, Gurg and Oran also getting this, like, giant spiel?
Yes, they are.
Aw. That's having his own little sermon. That's so cute.
Yeah. Helga's
If
like,
you wouldn't mind sending it to me as well, so I know what the fuck you say.
Oh, it was very, like, in general.
it's very general.
Oh, it's
Like I
fine.
said, it was on for about 40 minutes.
It's all fine. I just don't want to say something that's going to, I don't want to improvise something that's going to, directly contradict what you've already established as part of the story.
As after Soot finishes up, Helga's like, I will tell you one day about animals in the sky. And pats Soot on the back. Let's go see if they're finishing up, yeah?
All right. Meanwhile, so while Soot is giving this 40-minute oratory, Katrina,
Yes.
You are in this crowd. With your dexterity check, you've gotten to within about 30 feet from the stage. But the crowd is a little too dense and you're small. So it's actually a bit of a... It's pretty lucky that you're able to kind of weave through. If you were in full armor, you would have had a much more difficult time, but you probably would have shoved your way through at that point with your strength. The old man kind of winds down his sermon, you think, because he stopped speaking in a crazy tongue. And, people clap and cheer, and he kind of mutters like a short prayer that everyone kind of responds to in Northlandian. And he like steps off the stage, and all of the paladins start to file off the stage, and the crowd, you can see like on the periphery, starts moving away. People start talking to each other. Noise is starting to pick up, and you can see that the paladins around the stage, not on the stage, are still kind of like holding that line, making sure people don't push in too close to the stage. But this was about 20 minutes after the squawking left.
Gotcha.
So, what are you doing?
I am going to kind of stay in the area, make sure I can keep an eye on the boulder.
The boulder? Yeah, okay.
Make sure he doesn't leave, and just kind of listen and look and...
Well, he's stepping off of the stage towards the keep.
All right, I'm gonna head towards him then. Do I see his nephew anywhere?
You still don't see Danley anywhere. But as you try to approach the stage, and the way the stage is constructed, it's directly inside of the portcullis of the wall towards the keep. So like the only way on and off of it appears to be behind the stage itself. So as you approach, you're met with a wall of paladins, and one of them kind of stops you, like, "Oi, sorry, miss. No citizens really can come through right now."
Ah, what a good thing that I'm not a citizen then. I had a little bit of business that I needed to speak with Mr. Boldar for.
I'm sorry, Mr. Boldar does not take appointments. Do you have credentials? Otherwise, I'm gonna have to refer you to Shield Master. She's the one who takes, any incoming inquiries. Who are you?
My name is Mira. I come from the Mist Kingdoms, and yes, sure, please point me toward that person.
All right. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check, please.
Chewing chicken katsu. There's the butt roll. 13.
All right. You kind of you definitely seem to have caught someone very low on the totem pole, proverbially speaking, because historically speaking, the lowest character on a totem pole is actually the most important. But that's neither here nor there. Someone who appears to be kind of low in rank, and he kind of like looks left and right and runs off to what appears to be his superior, a captain, who turns around to look at you, and it's Theodric, actually, who approaches. And I can't remember what voice I used for him. I think it was fucking Patrick Warburton, so I'll just stick with that. I thought I told you all to stay out of trouble. Where's your Where's your sparkly friend?
No longer with us. He didn't die. He's just a bitch.
Okay. Well, I sure hope he's okay. Can I help you? One of my men says that you're looking for Boldar.
Yes, I met his nephew. Lovely boy. I more just needed to speak to someone with a little bit of, influence isn't the right word. Connection.
All right. Well, what kind of purpose is that going to serve? There are channels that this has to go through. What do you need help with? Honestly, the only reason that you're able to talk to me right now is because we've already met.
I need to talk about your primitive problem that no one seems to be aware of, and possibly alliances with the Mist Kingdom.
Roll a general charisma check.
There it is. Come on, don't fuck me. Ah, tits. That would be a 7.
I'm not sure how you would be able to facilitate that, but I can certainly see about getting you an appointment with Shieldmaster Kada. I'm sure she would be interested to hear all about these Mist Kingdoms. Tell you what, show up at the go ahead and show up at the garrison, and obviously not today, tomorrow.
Oh yes, of course. This isn't entirely pressing. I know you were in the midst of your revelries. I just thought it prudent to at least start making connections sooner rather than later.
Yeah, sure. Tell you what, if you can be at the Blade Consign tomorrow early, I can see about getting you in to talk to Thundercall. But if not, then I'm afraid there's not much I can do.
That's much appreciated. And you said to meet you at the...
Oh, the Blade Consign. It's basically where we it's where we put out job postings. It's where Shieldmaster Thundercall she oversees all of that stuff, the stuff that paladins aren't really gonna do but still need to be done.
Ah, absolutely. I happen to know a couple of people who might be looking for work.
Spectacular. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
I did want to apologize.
For what? He looks a little confused.
I know that my group was a little bit rough to handle when we first got here.
That's a way of describing it.
We've had a bit of a journey. And obviously don't have the most solidified alliances. And I apologize for any trouble that we may have caused you. I know that you were looking out for our friend. He's just a bit bullheaded. Or dragon-headed.
Go ahead and roll another charisma check. With advantage, actually.
That's racist. Charisma with advantage.
Yep.
Boop, 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 11. That's not much better.
I rolled an 11. He kind of looks over his shoulder, kind of searching the crowd for a moment, and he's, you get a good look at this guy. He's very, very strongly built, much like very much like Helga, exact same lighter skin tone. His hair isn't, as tightly curled as anyone else's that you've seen in the Northlands, and he looks back at you. You are an interesting bunch. You're traveling with that Frostburnian, right?
Yes, we are. She's on a bit of a soul-searching journey of her own.
Interesting. Tell you what, maybe tomorrow night after I get off, if you all can find me, we can have a drink and maybe talk about this journey that you've all had.
I look forward to drinking you under the table.
Good luck with that. And with that, he kind of nods and turns away and starts giving orders to the rest of the paladins. Starts, basically just like keeping the crowd from getting too unruly and making sure everyone gets out of the, tight area safely.
And I go looking for my group.
All right. So it's about this time that the rest of you that Soot finishes his oration and excuse me, and Oran kind of smacks Gurg on the shoulder, which makes a very loud ping sound on the metal, and he wakes up suddenly from the light dozing that Soot had lulled him into.
Nice job.
You all, the four of you step out of the alleyway as you see the familiar red hair of Katrina kind of bobbing towards you through the crowd. As Katrina, you spot them heading out of an alleyway. When your view is cut off by a group of about 5 slender people in these midnight blue robes that kind of pass you, and one of them turns and you see these very, very light lavender pink eyes and very pointed ears and a long nose, and you see that it's a wood elf, and they kind of like look at you but sort of past you, and they like reach out kind of gently to touch you and mutter, may lullaby bless your dreams this evening. Do you let them touch you?
Me?
Actually, Helga.
I was like, I missed the first bit of that.
Yeah,
I was putting away my
like,
noodles.
looking at them, looking at like Oran, like, huh? What?
He looks just as confused as you. Yeah, they.
And since he is confused, Helga is also still confused and just kind of like lets them pass as long as they're not trying to like hurt.
No, it's kind of like just like a light just hand on the shoulder and a little pat as they pass, not really making eye contact, just looking past you. These eyes just kind of staring off, and this group of people kind of just shuffle past. And Helga
Pats
and
them back on the shoulder, whichever one pats her on the shoulder.
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Katrina, they do pass you as you near your friends, and the same thing happens. This one of them does look at you, and this one's actually a human, with the same kind of like vacant staring off into the distance, not like in a dead-faced kind of way, like this slight pleasant smile, just kind of looking off, like thinking very deeply about something. May lullaby bless your dreams this evening. Reaches out to touch you.
I'm going to curtsy very deeply and avoid the hand as I curtsy and say thank you, just as coyly as I can.
Go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw, I guess.
See?
Oh, I still had a advantage on. I'm sorry. Do you want me to take the lower or take the first one or roll again?
It would be the first one.
Okay,
The one on the
17.
left. Yeah, that's fine. It wasn't like a difficult DC. Yeah, you curtsy and his hand kind of like goes over your head and then comes back into his robe, and they all keep shuffling. And you see as they keep walking, a bunch of people like they touch a few more people, and like they're all, and most of the reaction is like, who are you?
They're like stood up in here. Touch, 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 touch.
Yeah. They're not like little kids in the clothing section of Walmart, but it's like, like they'll pass close by someone and be like, "Oh, man," kind of thing. And so you all meet back up as the evening air surrounds you. The smell of hot chocolate as the festival is winding down. People are going home. People are calling to each other. The light of Justine's eye shining above you, creating this false daylight around you.
Pretty.
But it's like the difference between natural sunlight and, electric fluorescent light. Yeah, it's not as harsh as fluorescent light, but it's bright.
Meow.
Oh,
Meow.
eggnog.
Do you hear her meowing?
Yes.
Papa,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Definitely meowing like right at the microphone. Like she knows. She knows. I know.
Heaven knows. Yep. So that's what's going on there. What are y'all doing?
So it's staring very intently to the ground. Still kind of like turning his prayer wheel.
Helga's like asking like Oran and Gurg and Cat and the like who is lullaby? What was that? What was
Go ahead and roll a intelligence check, Helga.
intelligence?
Yep, intelligence deals with memory recall.
Okay. Rolling 10.
Well, that was the DC. It didn't happen that long ago. It was less than 2 weeks ago. It was actually 13 days ago that you remember hearing that name before when you helped clear the name of you helped solve a murder in an inn, and you cleared the name of a local hunter who also was an elf, and in thanks he blessed you with he blessed you with mentioning the same what looks like a lesser elven deity, Lullaby.
Oh.
And Oran kind of nods and confirms that as you I guess recount that.
Helga's like, oh, is it this one? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And this was before I came along.
Oh yeah, it was before Katrina came along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw those guys too, and I don't know. Considering our past experiences with religious zealots, and I kind of look at Soot kind of side eyes, and current experiences with religious zealots, kind of wanted to avoid that juju, you know?
Shit reading.
Well, in her defense, little buddy, you do make people glow randomly.
I think that we might need to have a little talk about subtlety. I am definitely not the person to do that because I'm about as subtle as the broadside of a barn. But I think that will need to be a conversation.
Soot and Katrina, you can both roll a religion check, actually, because you are new to the campaign, and Helga is not.
18.
All right. the DC was lower for you, Soot, because you have that book that you were pouring through briefly. When you first opened it to kind of get a look, your awesome photographic memory, you remember, and Katrina, you have learned this, though maybe not in such exact words, but you both would know that the Elven pantheon used to be like hundreds of different deities. From like, the god of lily pads to the god of the southern wind, until eventually, because of some great merging of communities, the Elven pantheon kind of was narrowed down to the current one that is most known of. So this lullaby is not one who is clearly a part of that pantheon, but people may find something in an old book that speaks to them.
Shit reading.
Shit reading.
Mm. So it doesn't care for whatever that shit is.
So, Oran, you said that you weren't familiar with this particular deity?
Which one?
Lullaby.
No.
Hmm.
I mean, I'll be real with you. I left home pretty young. I was like 80.
80.
And
You're right. That is
Helga looks at Oran.
sapling.
for elves, it's pretty young. We usually don't claim adulthood until like, our first century. And, I'm 3 in, so...
So, you're in your midlife crisis?
Most certainly. Clearly.
Helga's trying to do math in her head.
It's not working.
It's not working. She's making like this really confused face of like, what?
While this conversation is going on, Helga just looks really constipated. But yeah, I know that we...
Tins?
What?
Tins?
I'm sorry?
How many tins are you?
30?
30? But how many tins is 30?
He just holds his hands up and opens and closes them a lot.
Tins is 30. Well, man.
Wait, Soot writes down 300 on the ground and tugs on Helga's robes.
You have written. I cannot read. Cannot read that.
Cat kind of like rubs her face and kind of just looks at Helga. And then I'm going to hold up my bag of silvers and I'm going to shake it because I have 342 silver. I'm going to be like, look, see how much coin is in here? About this many coin is how many years he's lived. That's a lot of coin.
Breachings.
That's a lot of breachings and a lot of coin.
I'm just imagining like Helga's face looks like that one English dude who couldn't reconcile like a pound of feathers to a pound
Versus a pound of bricks. Well, the bricks are heavier because bricks are heavier.
That's right, because steel is heavier than feathers.
But steel is heavier than feathers.
It's like,
but about the kilogram.
Yeah. Helga's having this
coin.
Helga's having this crisis, and Oran like tries to change the subject. He's like, but anyway, as far as I know, back, centuries ago, back when the Elven empires spanned all of Bekonvel, there were so many deities that we worshipped that there were some deities that were only worshipped in like individual towns. So I don't know, maybe with the way things have been going with the rebuilding after the War of Kings, people are just kind of trying to go back to their roots. little, I don't want to say cults, but little religious groups are kind of springing up all over the place. And I mean, we have heard of Lullaby before, but that was back in Onid's Wall. Haven't really heard of her before. He.
Cat kind of just shrugs. It's unfamiliar to me to just see people so openly speaking about gods and religions. I know that they exist. It's not really something that we hold of high importance where I'm from.
And, I mean, we've lived on the road for a while, and clearly our experience with strange things that we don't understand isn't, the best. So, kind of there with you, almost. I haven't heard of this Faina before, like, not even in any songs. Who is...
Faina's white.
Is Faina like an elven deity, a human deity?
Soot points to himself. And then...
Your people.
He's nodding.
You have a people. Where are your people from?
He points... since you made a point that he knows the north, he points in the direction of west, but he doesn't say west.
Okay. I don't really know where to go from there. Cool.
Oh. Oh. No, I can hear you now.
Oh, has Kit been talking?
I can hear you.
Let me try this. I can hear... Oh, that's a cat.
Oh, we can hear a little egg.
She sipped. Oh my god, there she goes again!
I'm sorry, Kit. I haven't been able to hear you at all this whole time.
Yeah, were you trying to say something?
No, I just, no, not this whole time. I wasn't trying to, I was honestly just listening, and then all of a sudden, Eggnog decided to jump onto my laptop keyboard and, exited me out of Roll20. So for a brief minute there, we were talking about religion and elven religions. And yeah. And then I was on I heard on the stream still something about North. Tiffany's finding North.
Yeah, basically Oran was like, there are, probably a lot of lesser deities that are worshipped in small groups that are like now starting to pop up with the world being in less of a turbulent state. And then he was like, who's this Faina though? And then Soot gave a very Soot answer. And he's like, well, who's Faina a god of? And Soot points to himself. And he's like, bird people. Cool. Where are your people? And Soot points randomly in the fucking west. Or Soot points directly towards his home, but, like, nobody would know that.
Nobody understands that.
It's like that way. Gotcha.
And, yeah, and so Oran had his moment just
Blood of the brother.
Okay. The what? What of the
Blood
brother?
of the brothers. Blood of the brother.
Oh. That's ominous.
So it's like, he's tapping his beak. He doesn't quite, And then he's already put his whole entire spiel at Faina. Oran should know what he's talking about. Well, at least in his mind, he should know.
Yeah, Oran knows, the whole, thing. He knows the whole spiel, at least, but, you just quoted scripture. So he was trying to get a little more of a concrete answer, and then he didn't get that, but he's just like, okay. He's not going to push it, clearly.
Sure. Yeah, this conversation is really gonna go nowhere.
So yeah,
Soot looks up. Wait, are the robed figures still in view?
go ahead and roll a perception check.
While you guys are doing this, I gotta pee.
Yes, we can read.
Okay, go pee.
I'll be fast. I'm sorry.
Katrina, roll initiative.
She's gotta fight the toilet.
Did you roll perception?
So Soot rolled a 19.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of look through the crowd and you can just see them kind of turning a corner to move down a larger thing, like into a larger thoroughfare.
He's tugging. Soot's tugging on Oran's robes and is pointing towards them, or in the direction that the robed people had gone, and is making moves to like follow.
I mean, I got nothing else to do. I'm with you all, really. Tomorrow, do you all follow, I assume?
I'm not gonna speak for Cat. Cat sounds very done with this, honestly.
Well, Cat's not here, so.
Kit?
Well,
Are you Kit? Are you going? Soot wants to follow the blue robed people. Did you want to follow?
sure, I'll go with Soot.
All right.
You want to go with them?
He wants to observe them like he observed just.
Okay. Don't yell at them if you disagree with their god, okay?
Huh.
I mean, unless they're like trying to hurt someone.
So you all follow them then?
Yeah.
All right. So you kind of hurry down to the corner and turn, and it's kind of like a kitty corner. It's not a direct 90-degree. So you turn and you can see them about 30 feet away, kind of shuffling slowly. They seem to be moving towards the west of the city, kind of like more into the not in the older part of the city, but more in the what looks like the less nice part of the city, as it were. And you continue following them? Are you like trying to be stealthy, or are you just kind of walking in the same direction as them?
Yeah, so it's being sneaky.
Okay, because there aren't a lot of people on this street, even though well, there are a lot, but it's a wider street, so it's less dense. So I'll have everyone roll a stealth check just to see how nonchalant you can be.
A 9. Oof.
Let me see.
Oh, buddy. Oh, Feyno, we're really in it now.
Oran and Gurg rolled a 17. Cool.
Come back. What do I need to roll?
Stealth.
Oh no, what's happening?
You're following the blue robed people.
Oh, we are? Okay.
I mean, you're allowed to speak up at this point.
What was the phrasing that was said?
You're just following them.
Who decided to follow them?
Soot. It's too late now. You're currently following them.
You're currently, yeah.
But
you're
like, you can say
not
things
very
now.
sneakily.
What am I rolling? A stealth check?
Just a stealth check.
I promise I'm not doing anything to my cat. She's just freaking out.
Natural 20, 21.
Nice.
And Helga?
Let me actually pull up my character sheet again because the cat also likes it. Yeah. You hear that? She's just, that's how she is.
She's just a needy little baby.
She is. I think she's trying to get me to feed her more, but she already had dinner.
Whoop.
I roll
A natural
20. Nat 20. Are you serious?
Oh,
Jesus! Y'all with these natural 20s tonight.
Hello, Carrie.
All right, so you guys are very nonchalantly kind of like hanging out as a group, watching them, following them. You follow them for about 5 blocks, and they're going down this very wide thoroughfare that is heading almost west-southwest through the city. You're kind of skirting around the Durselbard, where one of the high 50-foot walls kind of like divides that part, and there's like little breaks in it, archways in it that like make further streets that people have built buildings alongside and everything. It's this weird amalgam of like a huge walled city with certain buildings that are big and stone and entirely made out of this seamless perfect marble like concrete, or concrete like marble, because it's textured like concrete, and like just regular, brick and mortar houses and buildings. But as you pass down, you start to see that you're heading towards a much poorer part of the town. And as they pass people, this group, they're touching people on the shoulder, kind of giving them that soft blessing, just weird way they're describing people, until you start to see larger buildings. You start to realize you're in kind of like more of a warehouse district. And stuff like that. I used to have a map of the city. I don't know why I don't anymore. Perhaps it's hiding.
Live in a warehouse.
But yeah, you're still following them, and they haven't really deviated from their course. A couple more of them have. There's now about 8 of them, kind of shuffling together, all wearing these midnight blue robes. Most of them appear to be elves, but there are some humans. A couple of shorter figures that appear to be dwarves.
All right, I'm gonna kind of put a hand on Sut's shoulder. All right, buddy.
Oh, hey, I found it.
I do have to say that there's really no point in following them, and no point in doing something for no reason. I'd rather us not get into trouble, and you don't exactly have the best people skills.
You've now reached what appears to be you've been following on your left the big high 50-foot stone wall that seems to divide all the many districts of the city, and you appear to be approaching another one of the inner walls that divides another section of the city. To your right, to kind of give you perspective, is that big market district that you were in, with all the kind of temporary stuff that didn't have a lot of. It was mostly tents and stuff. And to your left has been the business district, but now ahead of you, you can see kind of a not as nice area, to put it that way.
Would Soot gain any knowledge from just hearing about the lullaby person or the color of their robes? Any recollection? Even from his book?
Go ahead and roll a religion check with advantage because of your book.
How do I do the advantage part?
There should be a toggle.
No? Oh, hold on. I don't... Hold on. Oh, okay. There we go. Found it. Never mind. A 16.
A 16? Nothing in the book or anything you've ever heard has suggested a deity called Lullaby. But you would know as a religious person that deities go under many different names. It might be just, something that they refer to this deity as, but I mean, they said they're blessing your dreams, and their name is Lullaby, so there's a little bit of theming there at least. Probably maybe a lesser elven,
Oh!
probably a lesser elven deity of good dreams or sleep or something like that. But yeah, nothing really jumps out at you. It's just kind of like your intelligence thinking about it. I shouldn't really be giving you guys all of this. I should make you suffer, but I feel like making it too vague wouldn't be fun.
So it shrugs and says, Dreams? Dreams? And he shrugs again. And kind of, yeah.
You have now passed through a large archway into a new district of the city. To your left, a lot of the buildings here have not boarded up windows like they're out of business, but they appear to have curtains drawn and darkened windows, and it's mostly lamplight here, with the buildings being all crowded together. And you pass some kind of shady-looking folk in standing on a couple of street corners or in awning ways. Some very scantily clad individuals standing under some lamplight.
Cold.
You are now in the what appears to be the red light district of Dagdaral. And the blue-robed people just keep on walking.
So it looks to his party members. Stop.
Stop.
He looks between the slowly, distancing blue robe people, but he has to admit, yeah, maybe this really will lead to nowhere. And then he differs to Cat.
All right. Let's
Make a note of the area they're in.
You what?
Oh, so it's just like making mental notes of where they are.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, let's head back. Do you have a place that you're staying?
No.
Okay. Do you have any money to pay for a place to stay?
No, he does not.
Didn't he sell some stuff?
Oh,
well, I mean, he helped you sell some stuff, but
yeah, he helped me sell stuff.
But he didn't.
Yeah. So
I gave the money to Oran and Gurg.
So you did?
Yeah.
Did you? I thought you just held on to it.
No, I thought I had said I gave it to Oran and Gurg.
Oh, well, how much did you give them so I can put it in their fucking inventory?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that because I didn't write down how much.
You got like 210, didn't you?
That sounds right.
Whatever. We'll say that. That's a good amount of money. So as you all have kind of turned around and kind of left the shadier part of town, you find yourselves back in the market district where a lot of the more temporary buildings are, and you start heading back to where you believe the whatchamacallit, where the inn that you stayed at was, which I believe was the Roaring Sunset Tavern, which was in the north of the market district. So you kind of head back there. You walk for it's like a 20-minute walk. You pass because you went so far to the west in the city. You actually pass another walled-off district that, strangely enough, you have to walk around it, and there's like, you walk along a good 300, 400, 500, 600 feet of this wall, and there don't appear to be any archways or entrances into it. And there appear to be a lot of there's no graffiti on it, but there's a lot of carvings of archways that depict scenes that have kind of weathered with the years. But other than that, it's just this big flat wall that kind of moves and arcs with the way the building may have been designed hundreds of years ago. But as you keep walking, you finally get back to the Roaring Sunset Tavern, where you get in and business is starting to pick up. It's the end of the day. People are kind of celebrating. You see Rodic, the owner, kind of sees you all enter and kind of waves to you, gives you a nod, recognizes you. Y'all have a good day.
All right, I'm gonna head back to our room. Soot. I'm kind of looking. Soot has referred to himself as a he, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to assume, but you're welcome to come and stay with us or with Oran and Gurg. Whatever you prefer.
Soot follows Kat and Helga.
I mean, we have the extra bed.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Soot still follows Kat and Helga. He spent more time with them. He trusts them more.
All right.
Nice.
Tell you what, we'll help you move our bed into the other room.
Why don't we just switch rooms?
Makes a bit more
Because
sense.
it'll still be 2 beds and 2 beds.
I thought. Oh yeah, that's right.
Wink, wink.
They're kind of very.
Do some fucking. Wait, are y'all's bed not bigger? No, that doesn't make sense either.
Tell you what, we'll help you move. We'll help you move the bed, or at least the bed clothes, to the other room, so y'all can stay in the same room. We are gonna go pay for an extra night, because we only paid for the one, if you remember.
Oh, gotcha. I toss him my fare plus Soot's fare.
That's 2 gold. Just go ahead and mark that you're down 2 gold.
Yep.
Oran goes and pays the fare, as you do.
Soot taps Gurg on the hand, like, good boy.
Does he say good boy?
Yes.
No.
Thank you.
And then he, like, scampers off.
Okay.
Into whatever room.
You scamper off upstairs, and then you have to wait for Helga and Katrina to show you what room it is, and then they show you what room it is. And then you scamper in.
Yeah, it's not like he scampers in.
Eventually,
Soot scampers in.
yeah. Eventually, Oran and Gurg bring in Gurg just carries in the bed under one arm. He just carries in the other bed, kind of scoots it in between the other two. It's a very cramped space now. It's basically like there was like a little bit of space between the 2 beds, but like after the night, though, the one rickety nightstand was moved. It's now just 3 beds like touching, so it's one big bed, but like with the little cracks in between.
Nice.
By the way, before we all go to sleep, I wanted to say that I did manage to get in touch with Theodric, and we should all meet up at the posting board and possibly be able to talk to some people about the Primitere, who we kind of promised that we would try and fix their situation. Yay.
All right. Tell you what, we can divide and conquer. You know what I just realized, y'all? I realized last episode, Oran and Gurg, like, left to go find Artur.
Oh, shit!
So,
We're all hallucinating.
I'll tell you what, they just got back to the tavern with you all and showed up and did the paying for the thing.
Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they weren't part of Soot's audience?
They were not a part of Soot's audience.
They didn't hear about the light. How
I'm
sad.
sure they will eventually.
Retcon.
That's a glaring. That would have been a glaring plot hole. So Because they went to go find their fucking friend they've been talking about for 3 episodes. So they just got back. They you all kind of like weren't able to really talk, and now you're all kind of sitting down in the same room. And Katrina just said all this. All right. Do you think you all can handle that? Because we were able to find Artur, actually. Well, not Artur herself, but we found out where she lives, and we had to make an appointment, which was nice.
Dang.
Long story short, we have about the same situation. We're going to try again tomorrow morning.
Sounds about right.
But, I mean, yeah, the only other thing we could really try to do is figure out if we can get passage to, probably Lugvault, at least. I know that's the next large city on the river, so we could maybe find our way there, and then see where the fuck this star is.
Yeah.
Start good.
That's right. Story is good.
The name
So
Lugvault
that's
sticks out to you, Helga.
The what now?
You remember that name. Lugvault.
Lugvault?
Yeah, that's a city you remember.
Shit. Why do I remember that?
I'm not gonna make you roll for it. That would be cruel. That's the name that the lady in the Silver Pelt Inn mentioned.
Oh, the name where other people maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that it matters to Helga, but how do you spell that again?
Lugvalt. I'm pretty sure it's written on your I'm pretty sure it's written on your character sheet in here somewhere, but
Oh.
yeah.
I cannot read.
I'm pretty sure I have it on your fucking character sheet in here somewhere. I know you wrote it down at one point, but I
definitely wrote it down on my paper character sheet.
Yeah.
But I think it had a different name back then before you.
Yeah, it was a canon name in the Forgotten Realms setting. But I changed it to Lugvault, and then I told you about it, like, in passing. It's okay.
And I don't think I wrote down the name change. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Bleep bloop.
What was her name? Like Gertha or something?
I don't know, but I remember everyone's name was Sergio.
No, it was shit.
Shit. Yep, that was her name. Shit.
Her name was Shit.
I've probably got it in here somewhere. It's okay. It doesn't really matter. Whatevs. No worries. So, yeah. So, you remember that.
Okay.
You remember that specific.
I remember. Fuck. Now I don't even remember the context which we just brought it up.
Oran was basically saying, tomorrow they're going to try and they were like, oh, we had to make a fucking appointment with this rich person that we used to know, and so they're gonna try and meet with her tomorrow, and then maybe see about finding out how much passage on a ship to Lugvault would be.
Oh. I was like, yeah, she like just kind of like puts her hand to her chin and is like,
Okay.
Yes. Very anticlimactic.
Very anticlimactic with all of that explanation. But it's okay. We're fine. This is fine. He's fine. It's fine. Well, we're gonna turn in for the night. Unless there's anything else you all wanted to talk about.
No.
So it's already in the room.
Night night.
Alrighty. Good night, you all.
Good night.
Good night.
Get me my HP back.
Yep, so you all can take a long rest. All of your daily abilities, regain. You regain half of your hit dice, rounded down. So you don't go up to half of your hit dice rounded down. You basically, all of you should gain 2 more hit dice, at this point.
Do we gain any hit points back?
Yeah, all of your hit points go back to maximum.
Oh, okay.
Wait, we got 2 more hit
Okay,
dice.
sleep.
We didn't use them before?
No, if you expended any hit dice, you only regain half of them with every long rest.
Ah, I see. Okay.
I believe it's rounded down. I kind of skipped over the long rest one. Let me see.
Cool. Okay.
Yep. Long rest. At the end of a long rest, the character regains all lost hit points. Character also regains spent hit dice up to a number of dice equal to half of the character's total number of them.
What? That's a really complicated way of saying that.
So you all have 5 hit dice total.
Yeah.
You regain 2 of them, basically.
Nice.
Nice.
I have regained 2.
Sweet.
Ow.
Spectacular. And so you all find yourselves slowly, unless there's anything else you wanted to do before bed.
Cuddle with small burb.
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
No, so that's good.
Kat is going to. Is there like a desk or a side table or anything like that that she can write on?
There's a side table that was kind of like pushed off to the corner because to make room for Soot's bed.
Okay. So she is going to start writing a few letters.
Okay.
First one she writes to Maida.
Okay.
And just saying that her trip is going well, everything is productive, and that she'll be back soon, and to send her love to her father, and all of that jazz.
All right.
And then she's going to write a second letter.
Okay.
To Tristan.
Yes.
And she's going to just kind of wax poetic about the festival and about the just the religious ceremony that she saw and all of it, and talk about a lovely dress shop that she saw and all of the wonderful things that she's found. And in the midst of all of that, in their code, she says, "I'm safe. Things are going well. I'll see you soon. I love you."
All right.
And that's it.
And that's it. All right. So
She's going to kind of tuck them away to send out later.
So that's 2 letters?
Yes.
All right. So you write those. You fold them up all nicely after double checking them for spell check. And you tuck yourself into bed. Oh, you also, everyone regains their slaps knee. Regains any spent spell slots. Make sure you mark those back. And any abilities that you would have expended over the day.
Hey, Capitan. Got it.
Yep.
Cool.
How many spell slots do I get back?
All of them. Fucking barbarian. Okay. Soot. Your dreams are filled with sparkles and warm light, as they usually are. You had a wonderful day. Chat is being very funny.
Huh?
Helga, you find yourself having difficulty sleeping. You find yourself thinking about what the uncertainty of what's going to be happening in the next few days. And you just have difficulty really finding yourself able to fall asleep. So I'm going to have you go ahead and make a wisdom or intelligence check, whichever one you prefer.
Hello.
Not a saving throw, just a check. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it is a saving throw. Yeah.
Meep.
Meep Morp. Hello?
You talking
Kid?
to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Helga.
You said soot.
Who the fuck did you think I was talking to this whole time?
Fuck, I thought you said soot.
Yeah, Soot was
sleeping.
sleeping, and then I was like, Helga, you're having fucking trouble.
What am I doing again? Shit,
Oh,
I'm sitting here
God.
waiting for Tiffany to do something.
Helga. I'll say it again. Helga, you are having trouble sleeping. You find yourself kind of apprehensively thinking about just everything that's happened. Everything that's happened, everything that is going to happen. You know, the next few days are going to be difficult for you, as they usually are. And you just find yourself your mind's so busy. So go ahead and roll a wisdom or intelligence saving throw. Your choice.
Okay, wisdom saving throw. That's a 17.
Okay.
And my apologies for my zoning out.
It's okay. I will kill you later.
Please do.
This is the threat to Helga.
All right. Let me make a note here. All right. Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, the baby got a toy tangled around her neck. Hold on.
Oh no.
Baby. Come here. Come here. Come to Nini. Baby. Stop running around your neck. You're gonna choke yourself. There. Dumbass.
All right. You eventually find yourself falling asleep.
Snooze.
And dreams take you. None that you really remember, just pleasant dreams. Pleasant dreams of walking in the forests of Frostburn.
Sexy.
And
But
you're
also
naked.
I thought Frostburn was tundra.
Yeah, there's still forest.
Okay.
You're a bear.
You're a bear.
You're a bear person. Bears live in the forest. Whatever. There's trees.
Nope, not ice bears. Ice bears live in the ice.
That's a good point.
Fucking, you ever seen a polar bear in a forest, Mike?
Like a boreal forest, yeah, in Canada.
Well, then yeah.
Anyway.
I've never at once seen on
I've
camera
never
or
seen
video. Yes, yes. Okay, so I've never seen a polar bear in real life except at the zoo. But like on the videos and stuff, they're always just walking around on the ice.
In Beconville, there are also super alpine forests.
Okay, that's fair.
This is a fantasy world.
Thank you for
It's
providing
whatever I fucking
context.
say it.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, we're fine. So,
Not realistic.
as you all find your way to sleep, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna take like a 10-minute break. Everyone just go pee, get a drink of water, and we'll come back in about 10 minutes. Get y'all in a minute. Okay, bye. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. So, as our friends finally end the 12th day of the month and come into the 13th day of the month, it's a fucking miracle.
Ooh. Spooky.
Spooky. It is the day 12. No longer. It is day 13. Spectacular. As you all wake, the early morning light, because you guys actually went to bed at a decent time, you awaken.
My potatoes.
You awaken actually just as the light kind of shifts from the stark white of the Eye of Justine kind of hovering in the sky, kind of filtering in through your windows, to the kind of soft reddish yellow of the sunrise as it touches the tops of the higher stone buildings and the keep.
Right, I'm gonna pop up quickly, get dressed quickly, kind of try and brush some of the mud off of my hem.
You're getting back into your dress?
Are my other clothes clean now? I had set them out, right?
Yeah, they would be dry by now.
Okay, then I'm gonna put on my regular clothes and my armor.
All right. Katrina is now donning her clothes, which are mechanically chainmail.
Is there a hearth inside the room?
No, this is just a you did as you came into the tavern / inn downstairs in the common area. There is a large hearth.
Soot wants to go down to the hearth and say his prayers by the ashes.
Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and do that. It's still early morning. There's only a couple people up. Seems like most people are sleeping in the day after big festival, as you do.
Refilling his little prayer wheel and doing his morning prayers.
All right, and you can go ahead and choose your daily spells, as it were.
Got it, Capitan.
You remember how to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna get Helga awake as well.
Helga, you awaken to a more familiar-looking Katrina with her hair up this time, with her shield and sword at her hip.
We were going to go meet with Theodric and see if we can talk to someone. Remember?
The
Are you ready to wake up?
Helga gets up.
All right.
Puts on her clothing.
Yep.
Sniffs her armpits. Goes, that's fine.
roll a Constitution saving throw now.
Cute.
Yep. So you all you two make your way downstairs where Gurg and Oran are groggily eating some breakfast, just some eggs and what looks like some crispy bacon, super crispy. And you see Soot over by the communal hearth, kind of on his knees, quietly praying to himself. You see, if you Katrina, with your higher perception, you notice that Soot's prayer wheel that he has in one hand is glowing very, very softly.
I got distracted by the anagram thing we were talking about in the break. There's no V's, so it can't be Voldemort.
Oh, I'm doing it. Yeah, there is no V and no T, by the way.
Tonight.
This eve.
This Eve.
Oh, this Eve. Oh, that's why I couldn't get... Okay. This Eve. Starting over.
All right, Helga is like thinking really hard as she's like kind of like robotically shoveling food into her mouth.
I'm gonna kind of
Really
eyeball.
hard about something, but she's not sure what. There's just all these symbols flying in front of her eyes.
Alright, so I kind of like eyeball Soot kind of off to the side. He's out of earshot. I'm gonna look at everybody. I'm like, so the bird.
I like him. Helga's like, I like him.
Are we like... Is he going to be sticking around?
I'm not exactly sure. He's a bit of a freeloader, and he's a lot of trouble, but also he's extremely cute, and I'm pretty sure I can make him say bad words.
Duh.
Yeah, but consider this, you know. We have... Well, all of us have our, arrangement, as it were, but he came here looking for the star as well, and does anyone know what he wants it for?
No telling.
He wants it for Dana.
Well, look, I don't want to be, the downer of the group, but I don't really know if I'm comfortable trusting someone who can't even make up their own sentences.
That's kind of racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if someone were to decide, hey, I don't trust someone who can't write their own sentences?
I don't think that's really the same thing.
Is it though? Isn't it though?
No.
In Soot's defense, Oran, he is making up his own sentences. He's expressing ideas that are unique to himself. He's piecing them together. I don't think he's exactly a parrot, It seems like he's definitely had some
What's a parrot?
Pardon?
What's a parrot?
Yeah, we're all like, what is Peter?
I guess you guys don't have them here. They're pretty birds that repeat things verbatim.
That's creepy.
They repeat things where?
Exactly. Word for word, without really any intention or knowledge of meaning.
I'm pretty sure ravens can do that too.
Yeah, pretty good ravens.
That's not encouraging.
But what I'm saying is he seems to be different from that. It seems that I'm sorry, I got distracted reading the chat. It seems that while he's been, let's not say brainwashed, let's say indoctrinated into a religion, and those teachings seem to be informing a lot of his decisions. He seems to be making his own choices. He has agency.
Exactly.
All right, go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
And pretend that was a lot more cohesive and that I'm not coming off of a third coffee crash.
You're gonna roll insight real quick to see if Helga thinks of something.
He does not think of the thing.
What are you rolling insight on?
I'm rolling. You said
Michael.
One sec, everyone. One at a time.
I'm hold on, let me stop my cat from eating potatoes. Because I had this idea, but I don't know if Helga would have the idea.
What was your idea?
To ritual cast, speak with animals to try and communicate with Soot more effectively.
You can...
Helga would think of this, I think.
Well, okay, here's the thing.
Until she had, this sudden epiphany of, whoa.
I will have you go ahead and roll, maybe not insight, but how about an intelligence check to see if she thinks of, she has that spark of inspiration. Because, she may not think of, wow. Because here's the thing, one of the weird dualities about D&D is, your character doesn't solve the puzzle, the player does. So if you have a spark of inspiration, if you can find a reasonable way to rationalize your character thinking of something, I'm not going to punish you for being, a thoughtful and insightful person.
Mm-hmm. And you told me to roll a persuasion check?
Yeah, and I would like for you to roll a persuasion check, so I'll get to you. Wow, Jesus. All getting good. All right, Oran doesn't really say anything. He just kind of nods at what you're saying and seems to kind of accept it.
Helga likes the little animal boy.
Yeah, Helga can cast, Beast Sense and Speak with Animals as ritual spells.
I'm gonna be right back.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
Cat stuff.
Ah. Oh, poor Eggy.
Poor Eggy.
Does Soot hear any of this, or is he too engrossed?
Does Soot hear any of it? Well, what's your passive perception?
4.
Your passive perception is 4?
Am I not reading this right?
Your passive perception is 10 plus your perception modifier.
Oh, 14.
Because basically a passive skill would be like, just how you naturally are without really trying. So you would notice someone hiding if they rolled lower than a 14 to hide, without you really thinking about it. And that's usually what determines, surprise or something. So, high passive perception is usually really good. You have a high passive insight, so you can usually tell if someone's full of shit or not. Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind. I would say you wouldn't have heard them without really thinking about it, unless you guys weren't, making any efforts to be quiet. Although I would think that you were.
Yeah, he's probably very engrossed in his prayers and figures his traveling companions are just chatting.
No. I would say no, you would not have heard anything.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yep.
That's like his tagline.
Ignorance is certainly bliss. Excuse me.
Ignorance is starting a fight in church.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Carly, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. So, yeah, Helga, if you want to spend the 10 minutes it takes to ritual cast Speak with Animals, you can certainly try.
See, I still don't think, like, at this juncture, Helga has thought of this yet.
You rolled an 18
I-
on your intelligence.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
He is Burb.
He is Borb. Okay, let's try it then.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to try something.
So Helga slips into this meditative state that is not unlike her, but still a little different. And Katrina sings softly to herself.
John.
While this is happening, Oran and Gurg kind of excuse themselves. And they're like, all right, we're gonna get going, but we'll meet up with you all later, and hopefully we've all have got some progress done. Maybe we'll have I don't know, maybe we'll have next steps on where we're going, and you may have made some friends, I hope.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck. Y'all have a good one.
And as soon as Helga is finished, I'll kind of direct us towards where I said that I would meet Theodric because time.
Yeah. So it takes Helga about 10 minutes, and Helga casts it, and Crumpet, who has been kind of draped over your neck like just a big noodle. He's just kind of his gentle purrs eventually just become a fuck, and he's just vocalizing, but
Fuck.
he's saying fuck.
Helga's looking at him like, Helga looks at him. Is that what you are always saying when you purr?
Fuck.
I don't remember.
Okay, you are not the one I needing to be talking to right now, anyways. Soot.
It's still a trill.
How are you doing this morning, Soot?
Good.
Okay. How? I have the ability to talk to animals.
Good.
So it is. I was wondering, is there a way that you is there a language that your people speak? Because you copy how other people are saying their words. Da?
Da.
Is there a voice that you use that is yours?
So it shakes his head no.
Okay. I guess I will talk to Cat. Cat that is Crumpet, not cat that is human.
Are we going somewhere today?
Yes, we are trying to find passage.
Finally.
Ship.
I don't like the smell of this place.
No, yeah, what is it?
It smells like... Smells like that It smells the way you did when you first met the shiny man. When you came out of the hole.
Ooh.
Hmm.
I
Wait,
don't
what?
like it. Let's get out of here soon.
That is the idea.
Wonderful. And then he goes back to sleep.
And Soot pet Crumpet. So wants to pick up Crumpet and pet him.
You can certainly try. Roll an animal handling check.
Woo!
Yes.
18.
Much like before, his claws kind of as you put your hands around his midsection, he kind of digs his claws in gently to Helga's kind of like furs that she has around her neck, that he's been using as a sleepy space. And so you kind of pull with a gentle tugging, and you are now holding him. And he's just kind of squinty and just.
It's making a purring noise at him.
Oh, she sits purring back at him. When Soot purrs back at him, do I hear purr purr? Or do I hear fuck?
He is mimicking the exact sounds that Crumpet was making, so you hear, you understand them as fuck, and Crumpet and Crumpet just goes at you, Soot, which Helga you recognize as him saying, "Stop mocking me, creature."
Oh, so he does not like that. He does not like it when you'll say the purrs back at him.
He's starting to squirm now.
Aw. So it puts him on the ground.
And he just like he climbs back up on Helga and perches on her shoulder. Starts licking his one paw.
What do you think? What do you think of our new companion, Crumpet?
What is it?
It is Soot.
I'll get back to you on that.
Soot looks like a bird, but Soot says he is not. Well, Soot has implied he is not bird. He is Soot.
He looks like a bird, but he smells like a people.
Soot's a good boy.
So you can't understand Helga talking to Cat.
Oh, she's just saying stuff?
Yeah.
Or-
She's just basically like.
I would like to think that Helga is speaking normally, but animals can just
okay.
understand.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
okay,
it's like a telephone conversation.
Okay. Yeah, okay, then I guess you would hear Helga's end of the conversation. That is very... Yeah, yes, Soot, you're a good boy. Crumpet says you smell like people.
So it's just like plumaging.
Plumaging?
Like, you know when birds like ruffle their feathers like in a delighted way?
Yeah, that would be called ruffling their feathers.
In a delighted way.
Plumaging is...
Isn't that when you, like, pluck a bird's feathers?
Oh shit.
No, that's plucking.
What is plumaging, then?
Plumaging? Tiffany's just trying to say plumage, like the...
Well, bundling feathers in a delighted way. Plumaging. I'm making it a word. Whatever.
Oh my god.
It is now a word.
Maybe, are you thinking preening?
That also works.
That's a word. That's a thing that birds do.
Stop trying to retcon me.
I'm not trying to retcon you. I'm trying to thesaurus you.
I don't appreciate it.
Okay, if Soda's just poofing his feathers up in a happy way, then that's what he's doing. Whatever that word is, that's what he's doing.
I've got a headache.
All right, and so as this is going on, Katrina has finished her meal and is waiting for you all to get going.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Wait, Soot tugs on Katrina's, wait. Did Soot hear the guy say fuck?
No.
No.
Damn it, never
Soot
mind.
doesn't understand animal speak.
No. I'm talking about Commander what's his face, Captain what's his face.
Yeah, what about him?
I just really like when you were singing "fuck."
That was the cat.
That was Crumpet.
Oh, cat.
Hers are actually him going fuck.
No. Wait. You know what? Never mind.
I want to know what you're thinking about.
I just Sit wants to know how Katrina's doing with the one dude. That one guy that we were supposed to talk to. Did we not
We
talk to
haven't
him?
left yet.
Have we not? I feel like I just had this whole entire conversation in my mind. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
I want to listen to you.
I'm going insane.
All right.
I think I'm going insane.
In the membrane.
I'm already there, so.
Okay. So, anyway.
Anyway.
You guys make your way out of the Roaring Sunset Tavern. You find yourselves out in the Margadabard, kind of looking around. You can see over a couple of buildings that huge dwarven statue that you had hung out at. What's it called? The Helix Pavilion. And you realize at this moment you don't know where you're going.
Shit.
I thought we did.
Yeah. You know you're going to the BladeCon sign.
Yeah, didn't we see it on our way in? Someone we had asked someone about it. It was a place because we were looking for if we needed to get work.
They said it's they said it's outside of the Lochbard, but you don't know where that is.
Huh.
I thought that when we first got to the city with Oakfather, we saw it.
Nope.
Huh. Okay, so I'm going to find someone who looks trustworthiest and ask for directions.
Okay. You actually, you're looking around, and a young kid in kind of like what looks like a page's uniform, but with a little hand insignia on their chest, and they've got a little scroll in there, and they're walking through the streets, kind of crying out. Let me see. What do they shout? 3 farms have been raided in the wake of increasing tensions with the Premiter. 3 farms have been raided. Keep safe in the evening. Do not travel without accompaniment. All non-human deities being publicly worshipped should be reported to the paladins. All public deities. They're like walking away, but they're kind of like the only person on the street right now, and they do not seem to be enjoying shouting at no one.
Hey, kid.
All not... Yeah, yeah.
Would you mind pointing us toward the BladeCon sign?
Yeah, it's, right down that way. And he, points down, one of the larger thoroughfares, past the Helix Pavilion, towards, that big, kind of, the big walled-off area that you had seen, that you really didn't see any entrances to, slightly to the right of that. And he's like, it's right outside of the, wall to the Lochbard, where all the military live. It's a big building. Got a big sword in hand on the front door. Can't miss it. Just look for paladins, and they'll be there.
Thank you.
No problem. All non-human
Soot, you should probably just be a little bit careful when you're talking about your goddess, just in case.
Her light will guide us all.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. All right. Anyway,
That's the we're gonna get arrested, okay?
Yep. Okay.
and I'm gonna head toward the thing.
All right, do you two follow?
Yep.
Oakley dokley. So you make your way through the streets. People are starting to wake up. Some empty carts are being pulled through the streets. What seems to be a lot of people getting ready for their day's work. Excuse me. You can smell. You can still smell. Kind of the smell of hot chocolate. That seems to be like just kind of like their thing. Their good morning and good evening kind of drink. Especially in the wake of a festival. There's still confetti on the ground, kind of mixed in with the mud, and what little icy sludge is still left over from the previous snowfall several weeks ago. You all make your way down. You once again walk along that huge walled-off area, 50 feet high, almost featureless except for the random faded placards of stone. Until you come to another wall that kind of runs perpendicular to it, save for one kind of vertical archway that continues down along it. And to your right, there is a huge, like 20 foot by 40 foot, 3-story building with what looks like a thatched roof that's been repaired so many times. It looks much like a guild hall, except on the side of it is a very large sign that's just that looks like a hand with a blade diagonally behind it, and lettering underneath it on a sign that kind of juts out from the building says the Blade Consign. And you can see there are about 3 to 4 or 5 paladins just kind of either standing at either side of the entrance or walking around in the open area in front of it, kind of talking and chatting. There is a big message board with it's got its own little roof so that any papers tacked onto it don't get immediately wet with any rainfall. There's a message board. It appears to be made of cork, and there are some things nailed into it, but it seems to be mostly empty.
Do I see our buddy?
It seems to be very. It seems like the paladins in the area are kind of grunts.
Gotcha. Okay, I guess we're going in then.
All right. The paladins don't stop you as you try to enter. You step right into a room that has kind of a desk and several chairs. It's not much of a waiting room. It's more of I guess it would be kind of like a waiting room with like a door leading off back into the building, and just like a waiting space. And there's a someone who's much in a similar dress as the sponsor of the theater kids, if you remember from the previous day. Just a simple red dress with the emblem of Justine on the left breast, and some pince-nez glasses, and they look up. Yes, can I help you?
Yes, hello. I had spoken with Theodric about getting an audience.
Alrighty. I do believe he just got in. I'll go see if I can find him. One moment, please. She stands up and turns around to the door behind her, because there's a door behind her and then a door immediately across from the one that you entered, because she was like, you entered and then she was to the right, and then all the other chairs were to the left. So she kind of sticks her head in the door and calls down, Theodric! You've got some people here. They look like they're looking for some work. She's like, just one moment, please. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen them before. I don't know if you've... And at this moment, Theodore kind of pokes his head out the door, and he's not actually in his armor today. He is in just a brown leather tunic with actually some what looks like furs and feathers kind of just adorning the left shoulder. It appears to be his casual Friday wear, and some plain breeches, and but he's still wearing these thick leather boots. He's like, "Oh, awesome! I was hoping you would get here before I finished all of my paperwork for the day. Excellent. If you would come with me, thank you, Cindy." She's like, "All right." And the lady sits back down and continues writing on. She's like reading out of a book and also like taking notes on a little pad next to her. And he kind of motions for you all to follow him through the other door that was immediately across from the entrance. If you all come with me, I'll see if I can get you in with Shield Master.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you, if you really want to get on her good side, as you guys are kind of walking along with him, if you want to get on her good side, I would probably not try to be a smartass.
Me, smartass?
Just do your best. I am kind of sticking my neck out here again for you all, so just try not to get me in trouble. That'd be great. Please don't do that.
We'll do our very best.
Excellent. All right. Just up this way, and he leads you up some stairs, and to the right, and down another hallway. And at the end of this hallway, there is a thick wooden door with a little metal placard on it that just has a number of symbols that seem to denote some sort of rank. You're not sure of it. He's like, "All right, here it is. I'm going to go in and see about introducing to you. I did mention to her yesterday that I would be having some people come by. Now, look, she's going to think that you're looking for work, so just kind of roll with that, because that's the only reason she would agree to see someone."
Okay.
She?
Of course. I can work with that.
Okay, cool. He kind of steals himself, and he knocks. "Come in." And he opens the door. Shield Master. "Yes, what is it, Shield Heart?" The group, the mercenaries that I mentioned to you, yes. Is this them? They're here? Finally, excellent. Send them in. All right. What are you waiting for? Send them in. Go. Be gone. All right. And he's like, "Good luck." And he just walks on down the hallway.
Give him, like a sympathetic pat on the back as he walks past.
He's a struggling. Nah, you wouldn't notice it, Helga. Never mind. Nothing. You all enter?
Yeah, we enter.
All right,
Yep.
You enter. And as you enter, there is it's a nice room. There are a number of posters, what appears to be wanted posters, tacked onto the wall on the left. As you enter, some of them, about half of them, have been crossed out in like sliced across with what looks like maybe like a sharp object or something. Parts of those have fallen to the ground. And on the right is a little more organized, what looks like a similar job posting board to the one that's outside, but this one seems to be more full and a little better organized. And behind the desk, which is situated in front of a window looking out over the square that the front door enters out onto, is this fuck, I can't remember. She's goddamn mom in fucking she's goddamn mom in the new Karate Kid.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Ooh. Shit, we're all just like desperately Googling.
We're all desperately Googling. Not the original Karate Kid. Taraji P. Henson.
Yes, freaking love her.
Taraji P. Henson. She looks a lot like Taraji P. Henson if she had like a strong undercut.
Okay.
Fuck.
Yeah. Taraji P. Henson with Captain Phasma's haircut. And yes, it is dyed blonde.
Oh, I was gonna say build, but yeah, that works too. Tall.
Yes.
Well,
I can't remember what fucking voice I gave her just now. Alright. Nope. That's not it. Fuck it, we're just...
Trunchbull.
What?
Madam Trunchbull, that was the voice.
Children?
oh my god.
Crazy little children? Alright, so, hello. You all have my time. Please don't waste it. What can I do for you today?
Yes, thank you very much for seeing us. And
Do you speak for these lot?
The
So it's nodding.
Alright.
I suppose so. Yes, thank you for giving us some of your time. We do appreciate it on this late notice. We have been traveling I've been traveling from the Mist Kingdoms. I believe Helga's been from Onid's Wall. And we noticed on our way here that you have a little bit of a... Well, it's really a big cock-up, isn't it?
oh.
She's not saying anything. She's just watching. She's just watching you speak. Oh my gosh.
Is it eggnog?
What?
Did I just hear eggnog?
Yeah,
That depends. Here.
I heard rubbing and purring.
Yeah. It's eggnog.
Oh my god.
That was so cute.
She rubbed her face against the microphone and she's purring a lot.
Alright, you say there's a cock up?
Yes. So we noticed on the way in that the surrounding tribes of Primitere of your city seem to be gathering. We were actually attacked and overwhelmed as we made camp by a group of them, strictly and specifically because one of our friends who has left us was wearing paladin's armor.
You're traveling with one of ours, then?
No. Not a paladin of, Carly is tired and can't remember the name of the paladins.
Not Justine, but...
A paladin of Justine?
What? No, he wasn't a paladin of Justine, though, was he?
No, he was a paladin of, well, he wasn't there. He wasn't called a paladin. His class is paladin, but the paladins of Justine call themselves the paladins of Justine.
Yeah.
He was a doom guide, or he was a reaper.
To say that he was a reaper, a follower of the Silver Ladies. What it is?
What'd you do? Get yourself mixed up with one of that lot?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Probably not.
Besides the point, the point is, your roads aren't safe right now, And I'm not going to pop in here as the sword swinging crazy foreigner saying, let's get rid of all of your enemies. And I'm also not going to pop in as your holier than thou white savior saying, please leave the native peoples alone. But what I am going to say is the current situation is not one that will be able to be this is Carly being tired, not Kat struggling for words.
Not sustainable.
Yes, sustainable. This isn't a situation that will be sustainable for very long without further bloodshed than there already has been. I happened to be able to speak with members of the Perimeter, and we're looking for work, and I wanted to offer ourselves as maybe not translators, but as a sort of gap to try and fix this situation before it ends up being something that's going to be an all-out war. You people seem very proud. They seem proud of what has been built here. And I wouldn't want to see that fall apart over land disagreements.
All right. So, I hear what you're saying, Miss... What do I call you?
Call me Cat.
Cat. Well, Miss Cat, there's a lot of flowery language you've just spun upon me, and let me just paint you a picture of what I have to deal with as the Shield Master of Dagdaral. See, it's my job to deploy our forces in the surrounding areas to make sure that our people are kept safe. Now, you call it a cock-up, I call it, our people, our farmers, are being ransacked, and attacked multiple times in the past several days. And if you would very much like to be an intermediary, then you can go to some of our farthest west farms, and then you can go ahead and explain to them why Daddy got killed by a bunch of premies.
Ooh. Yikes.
Yikes indeed.
I see what you're trying to do here, alright? And I appreciate that. I don't know how things work down in those mist kingdoms of yours, but up here, we look out for our own, and there's not much we can do about them banding together. Now, if you want to run security for one of the farms and keep them safe for a bit, you know, I might be more inclined to hear what you have to say about how we should be running security and protecting our people. But just walking in here and telling us, you know, you think talking's gonna fix this, I have no reason to believe that. My accent changed about 7 times during that conversation, but it's fine. This is fine.
Look, I'm not phrasing myself well. I'm not trying to come in and tell you what you should be doing in this situation. What I'm saying is that you've got the elements for a very, very dangerous storm. You've got a group of people who are not used to being grouped together, who are going to be very aggressive, who are angry for whatever fuck all reason. I don't really know. I am not from here. I don't know how things work for you here just as much as you don't know how they work for me.
I'll tell you how they work. They're always aggressive. We have to watch out for greyskins. We have extra we've got people bringing in the green and as extra security for the Shineboard citizens sending their packaged goods all the way down to Onnedswall. And that's expensive. And if more of the Green And come through here, people are going to start thinking that us paladins aren't able to keep the city safe by ourselves. So yeah, we've got a problem, but I don't think diplomacy's really going to fix it.
Because the violence has really helped, hasn't it? It's just gotten you into more trouble. Look, again, I mean no disrespect. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. I'm trying to remember all the things that I wanted to say.
You're doing great, Carly.
You're more better at talking than I am.
Every party needs a face.
And that face is beautiful, Katrina.
Duh.
Duh.
The Primitive seem to believe that they are being punished by spirits or by whatever. And it all has to do with land and with boundaries and with feeling threatened and feeling like they're not. I'm not going to tell you how to feel about them. I'm not going to tell you that you should just ignore years and years of conflict. What I'm trying to say is times are very much changing. Tides are very much changing. And maybe working out something new. You say that traveling from Onexwall is so expensive and so dangerous. You have a group of individuals who know the woods and the marsh and all of the area around here. Rather than spending time bringing more people to have them to hold them off, strike a deal with them. See if you can do something to keep your peace and to keep them from feeling like they are some invasive species.
Alright, well, how would you suggest I do that? How would you suggest we open up our communications with them? Should I send some of my men out in the garments of a Paladin of the Silver Lady, perhaps, and then they could get captured and probably killed? I'm not sure how lucky the three of you are, but if you got captured by them and you made it out alive, I'd call that pretty damn lucky. And I'm not going to risk any lives trying to talk when they, at your own confirmation, they attack anyone in armor.
Well, we've already done part of the work for you, and they're willing to talk now.
Alright, that's spectacular. What do you want me to do about it? I just deploy the people. If I'm going to go to one of my superiors and say, oh, hey, this little lady from the Mist Kingdoms came in and said, we don't need to fight them. We can all be friends. They're gonna throw me in the fucking loony bin. I need to have a good reason for this. Now, Thadric is he's a young he's a young man, and he's got a lot of ideals, and I appreciate that, and he's a good leader, and I'm sure he could make his way up to High Overseer one day, and I would love to see him do that, because he's one of the brightest men I've had under my charge, and he thinks that you all seem to have some sort of spark about you, or whatever. But I can't just take his word at that. I've got to know that you all aren't gonna cock it up, as you said.
All right, so give us something to do. You want us to prove ourselves? Give us. Did the cat just sneeze?
Probably.
Is that what that noise was?
I think that was somebody snickering because I said cock.
Heh.
Oh,
It may have been me.
It's all good.
Don't mind the peanut crew.
The Peanuts Gallery
Peanut
has spoken. All right. You want to do something for me? Cool. I've got a bunch of shit that needs to be done. You're also ready and willing. Let's go take a look. Well, we can get started with fucking any of this shit. Like, I don't know. What are your specialties? As she's like rifling through papers on her desk. What do you all do? You got a sword, I see that. You got an axe. You're a bird.
You're a bird. No, that is Soot.
Is he like an arcanist or something?
He's a good boy.
He
we don't really know about him. He's kind of just tagging along.
he does
What
some,
kind of?
he does some magic things.
Spectacular.
The big one hits things. I hit things and occasionally blow things up, which is a recurring problem that I don't really want to think about right now.
You haven't had a lot of job interviews, have you?
You know,
Jobs come
in
to
my
us.
position, it wasn't really something that ever came up. No.
Yeah, might want to not mention the blowing things up randomly.
No, not
Yeah.
random. Well,
You're not helping.
he's good at blowing.
Well,
things.
you know about the grey skin raids. They're increasing. It's been getting closer. They seem to get closer every time. We've had farmers coming into the city and just not going back because everything's been burned or ransacked, which is great.
And these farms, are these farms that were historically yours, or these lands?
Well, this city wasn't historically ours, but, you know, everyone left one day and we took up shop. You know the history of this city? You know what that is? And she points out her window where you can still see that really tall, walled-off section of the city that you didn't see any entrances into. That right there is the stone bard. Nobody has ever seen the inside. None of the windows in even the tallest of buildings get anywhere near to aiming near it, so you can't even see over the wall from the keep. Nobody knows what's in there. The city is old. It was made by dwarves. We just moved in because they all up and disappeared one day. The gods know. Maybe they're all piled up in there, growing like weeds. Probably not.
That is how dwarves work.
So it's like banging on the desk.
What?
Good, stop doing that. What do you want? What do you want?
He makes a groaning noise.
What kind of groaning noise?
A very hollow, almost like a crowd of groaning and moaning, and as
Like-
if they're slowly approaching.
What, like zombies?
Zombies? Sure, yeah.
Like, Alright, that's really creepy. Can you stop him from doing that?
And then he points out the window back at the thing, at the tall wall closed off.
You want to go fly up in there? Be my guest.
Blessing! Soot! Blessing!
Soot, you want to go help there?
Soot's nodding.
There's no doors. There's no entrances. I was merely illustrating that this city's old and nothing here belongs to anyone. We just live here.
Problem. Soot help. Soot good. Soot blessing.
So do you want to bless them?
Da.
I love how Soot says da. Soot wants to bless the dwarves?
Da.
Soot, I don't know if there actually are the dwarves there.
Mm.
He was using example.
She.
She was using example. Sorry, I forget sometimes.
I
Sorry.
know.
Voicing.
I know. Most of my NPCs have tended to be women, weirdly enough.
Yeah,
I know that might get confusing after a while, but it's okay.
Boy, I love her. I
it's
just love
Mike voice.
her.
Right. Anyway, so while Soot was having this episode, she was kind of ignoring him and talking to Katrina still. Anyway, she hands you a couple of papers that seem to be like just mass printed pamphlets. One of them seems to basically talk more about paladins are paying for any info on illegal worship of banned deities, and there's like a list of names. All of them seem to be all of them are non-human deities, but they seem to be well, for example, there's well, geez, I don't know. Do I have any bad evil gods in here somewhere? Yeah, there's one of the names is Kamsir. There's also Giral, Lumen, Noctana, even Pelindus, a number of elven deities that nothing about it's really described. It's just names of deities, and basically says, "Oh, we'll pay for any information on illegal worship." Blah blah blah.
What
And then
about Starbeard?
what?
What about Starbear?
Nothing is written about Starbear,
Okay.
but you wouldn't know that because you can't read.
Mm.
So, what's all this about? What's the concern here?
Well, there's been a number of groups popping up in the city that we're worried are starting to increase. I don't know how much of the city you've explored since you've been here, but in the slums outside the wall, there seems to be growing worship of Brodak and a number of other smaller deities that
I'm sorry, Brodak.
yes.
Bro.
That one we have come across.
Have you now?
Yes, there was a keep along the way here off the river.
Shit, that guy.
Fort Sunbreak? That's been abandoned for years. What were you doing stooping around there?
Well, it looked like there were a bunch of people on fire.
Oh. That,
There's obviously some magic going about there. I would advise your people to avoid it. It was a bit of a trap. We barely made it out alive.
it's been made illegal to go there, so
Oh, we did not know.
Well, big old group of dumb foreigners.
I'll overlook it.
We thought we were helping someone.
I'm glad you made it out alive. People burning.
Us too.
But there were these creatures.
Creatures.
I think they used to be human. Guarding the place, keeping it going. They were barely alive. Didn't really seem to have much reason. And there was an encounter, and she kind of starts rubbing at her temples, and just voices in our heads. Something is going on there. Something is going on with Brodak, and I wish we had more information we could give you, but
Well,
do we still have we didn't sell the robe, right?
no, you didn't sell the robe.
I'm gonna reach into the bag of holding and give that, because that was from that keep, yes?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So I'm gonna reach out and get that and hand it over.
She kind of gingerly takes it, and she's been writing down pretty much everything you've been saying about this keep, as you've been speaking about it. She kind of looks at the robe. She says, this looks pretty old. You got this from there, you say?
Yes.
Well, this is, this looks more like a family heirloom than something that any of our priests would wear. Oh my. And she's like opened it up and sees like all the blood stains on the inside. It's like, well, whoever was wearing this did not have a good time taking it off, I can imagine. Now, these creatures, you said they used to be human?
They seemed like it. They were kind of empty.
Like undead?
I'm not entirely sure of that.
Well, there have been. I mean, the land around here is very old. Any ruins are probably going to have something. You know, there's some haunted ruins actually to the west of here that most caravans steer clear of because of most people say they hear moaning and wailing at night. But
And I turned to Helga. Was that the bit with the dwarven ghost lady?
you are all a strange bunch. You know that?
Sarah literally, or not Sarah. Helga doesn't remember because Kit doesn't remember.
You guys were at a you guys before getting to the city, there was what looked like the ruins of an old temple that you went inside, and there was a banshee, and you cleansed the place. And Oakfather tried to loot the ghost.
Didn't work.
It did not work.
Vaguely remember.
You're all a strange bunch. Anyway, well, if you had a run-in with a cult of the Mad King, and you made it out mostly intact, she's kind of looking at you all kind of like a little wary at this point, because you're all saying a bunch of weird shit.
Was that the ghost lady? Yeah, I think it was the ghost lady.
Exactly. And
Trying
so
to remember a session that happened almost a year ago.
yeah, right. That's what notes are for. She kind of just hands you the other paper, and she's like, all right, well, this all seems to maybe fit together, and if you're all as weird as you seem, you might be more interested in this. And she hands you a paper, but she kind of like says what's on it, because I don't feel like making up whatever it says. Some of our graveyards, one in particular, has been robbed several times. Bodies have been going missing, and we don't know why. There's no increase in the amount of vermin on the streets, so it's not like someone's taking them and hiding them in their backyard. Bodies are just going missing from the graveyard. They're being dug up, and actually, it's a pity you don't have your friend from the church, the Silver Church, with you, because we've got ourselves a very upset graver who's probably going to want a Reaper to bust some heads once they find out who's taking the bodies.
Yeah, he right fucked off.
Spectacular. Well, you can go ask around, see if you can get any leads on that. And any information, any leads on any of this is good. And actually, speaking of leads, I've got one last little tidbit that you could follow up on if you're looking for a more headhunting. Not just bodies are going missing, people are going missing. And nobody's really talking about this. In fact, the only reason I'm telling you is because you're not paladins. Because we've got bigger things to worry about ourselves, as you well know. But if you're looking to be freedom fighters and help out the old city of Dagdarol, you can go outside the wall and ask around the slums. Some devils are going missing, and they seem to be getting upset about it. And eventually they'll get very upset about it, and then I'll really have to hear about it. So I'd rather not hear about it. Catch me?
Cat has a very steely gaze.
Sounds racist, but I understand what you're meaning.
Well, nobody's really done much about it, because they're devils. Do you want to help or not?
Yeah, we'll help.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the paper.
What, do you think I was going to go and ask you to step on some spiders in my basement?
We've done giant spiders.
Cool. So, if I find some spiders, I know who to call.
I don't like those double bears.
We don't have bears either.
Mm.
Anyway, I've got a couple appointments coming up. So, shoot. If you have any questions, you can bug Theodric on his day off. I don't really care.
Cat kind of just, all right, and then just leaves. Because Carly does not know how to properly interact with people right now.
Neither does Kit.
You excuse yourselves and leave, and she shuts the door behind you. And, you, I guess, make your...
Yep.
Oh, hi, Carrie.
So, do you guys make your way out of the building? Or you just stand there in the hallway?
We're gonna make our way out the building.
No, how come she's gonna stand in the hallway for the next few days?
Sweet. So you guys make your way out of the building, and you actually, as you step out of the door, Theodric is there talking to, what looks like, another paladin in plain clothes. They seem to be just kind of catching up, and, as Theodric, sees you all exit, he kind of, says a quick goodbye to the other paladin and steps up to you. So, you look like it went well.
Just reading.
That bad?
Not great.
Well, what happened?
Let's say I have a new understanding for Dagdarolian diplomacy. And leave it at that. We're gonna go and find some dead people now.
Okay. So I take it she gave you a job.
Yeah, a selection.
A selection? Oh, wow. All right, she must like you then.
We should check about the living people going missing, yeah?
Probably at the top of the list of priorities.
Well,
That doesn't seem to align that way for her.
Well, that is because of stupidity. Something, I don't know.
The racism.
Yeah.
Duh.
oh. Is this about the people in the slums going missing?
Thank you for referring to them as people.
You're welcome.
Yes. Do you have any further leads on that?
Well, just that it's happening, and honestly, the only reason I hear about it is because some of my detachment are some of the people under me are, watching that part of the wall, and people come to them with complaints that get back to me if they, get enough of them. And we can't do anything about it until we're dispatched to do something about it. But if you
don't seem to have very much autonomy.
No, there's a very strict order of things, honorable battle, and justice doesn't work without order.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
You can be honorable without all this blah blah blah. Who sends who where?
Well said.
Thank you.
Well, you all seem like you're going to be pretty busy for the day, but this is my day off, so I'm going to go get a
So you
drink.
come with us. Great.
Or I could do that.
Trying to find a reason to leave, Helga.
Oh.
If you all would like to have a drink later, well, do you all want to get a drink later?
I think that would be very nice.
Nah.
Oh.
All right. Tell you what, how's about we
Look for the name of the pub.
look for the name of a pub? Well, if you all are going to be out if you all are going to be outside of the city, I'm going to go down to the Lockbard, and I'll be probably shit-faced in the Black Star Commode.
Star Commode.
No, I'm sorry, the Dragon's Flagon. I read the wrong line. He would not be in the Black Star Commode.
Black Star Mode. Sounds like a
Mostly
laser
because
bar.
it's mostly because it's an inn and not a tavern.
I thought a commode was another word for a bathroom. A toilet.
Gonna be on the shitter for the rest of the day.
Yep,
Bye,
gonna
guys.
be in
I
the
gotta
shitter.
go. Shit.
No. I'll probably be in the Dragon's Flagon. They've got the best mead there.
Mm.
Hmm.
No, but look, if you see your friend, keep an eye out for him. If not, I hope he's gotten out of the city. I hope he's not one of the ones who went missing.
Hmm.
Anyway, I will hopefully see you later. And he awkwardly turns around and walks south.
Blessed be.
Adorable.
It only has so many voice lines.
My brain is giving up.
Yep. And so you're all standing there in the bright morning sunlight with many things that you could choose to do that I will allow the rest of you to decide on your own. But that's where we're going to end this episode.
Woo, woo, woo. Yay. Our brains are melting.
My brain is melted.
Yeah, brain is melted. So this is one of our longer episodes, but I feel like we got a solid amount done. What do you all think?
Ka-chunk.
We got so much information. It's great. This is good. We got stuff to work with.
Information, and I got reminded of so much information that I had forgotten.
This is stuff that, I had planned for it to, pay off, about a year ago when you guys first entered the fucking city.
Yeah. You know, shit happens.
Shit happens. It's okay.
Are we still alive?
Yes, we're still live. So,
Shit happens, guys.
shit fucking happens. However, thank you all so much for watching. This has been such a great thing. Remember, we are not having a,
Stream?
yeah, that we're not having a fuck my asshole.
Oh, I thought that's what we were doing instead.
You can't fuck your asshole, Mike. Not online. That's for Patreon.
That's for Patreon. That's it. Yeah, speaking of which,
Segue.
speaking of which, we have a Patreon, which you should go check out because it's awesome.
Not because you can fuck Mike in the asshole.
Not because you can fuck me in the asshole. That's
Forbidden.
well, I'll make that like the $1,000 a month Patreon level. That's what that one will be.
Be careful, Mike.
Mike, you're worth at least 2,000 for that.
Oh, you're so sweet.
He's like an expensive hooker.
I'm an expensive hooker.
You're a high class escort, but like an e-boy.
I mean, we're offering his butt up here.
That's what an e-boy is, right?
Anyway,
Sorry, Carly.
so we
that's your husband.
so we can stop talking about giving people my butt for money. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe because it super helps, and also check out our Patreon, where if you subscribe on our Patreon, that's even more helpful, because you can support the show and get super exclusive behind the scenes updates to like everything that's going on. And that includes YouTube and all of this shit going on. I'm going to be putting up the awesome new intro animation that we have. That honestly I kind of want to watch again.
Do it.
Gonna be an intro animation.
I'm totally gonna put it up pretty soon, so y'all keep an eye out for that. Big, awesome, super big thanks to Really Slow Motion, the company that made that music and allowing me to commission that. I super appreciate that, and you should check them out. You can get a lot of their music on iTunes. The song itself is called Neverending Adventures, which I think fits very well. Please be sure to follow our Twitter at Dicey Decisions, no spaces. And remember, if you tweet with the hashtag Dicey Decisions, you get entered into a drawing to help me open our next episode. Because if you actually are here in the beginnings, you can hear I struggle with opening the episode in a fun way. You can find the podcast of this show anywhere podcasts are available. Anywhere. Even up your butt.
Especially there.
Especially up your butt. Have a good one.
All my podcasts.
Your podcast?
Yeah, I listen to all my podcasts in my butt.
Through your buttocks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything that anyone has to say?
I love you, people.
We love you.
I enjoyed my cat meowing at you.
Have a good one.
She
Yes.
loves her fans. Tweet at eggnog.
Tweet at eggnog.
Oh my god, if you get that handle.
Have a good one, everybody.
Good
Be
night.
safe. Share
Love
some
you.
love. And tell a story.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to play the intro sequence again.
Dun, 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 dun.